The Texans added a handful of players in the 7th round of the 2024 NFL Draft. Here's the case for each one and why you shouldn't be sleeping on the 7th rounders. Welcome into the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans, and let's talk about the 3 7th-round picks the Texans used in the 2024 NFL Draft to wrap up our draft class recap here on the channel. If you missed any of the other videos, check them out right here on the channel. But Solomon Byrd, Marcus Harris, and Ladarius Henderson are the topics for today. And, of course, the video brought to you by our friends at Platinum AC and Heating. Dwyane is just like you. He's a local Texans fan. He just so happens to have the best prices and the best service when it comes to taking care of air conditioners in town. Give Dwyane a call today, 832-777-3683. All the information you need is in the description down below. We appreciate Platinum AC and Heating for sponsoring this video. Let's start with the big fella on the end, Solomon Byrd from USC. Going to be 25 years old this year, played at Wyoming and then ultimately played at USC for the Trojans, where 3 of his uncles actually played for the Trojans as well. Byrd is a relentless pass rusher. When you read about him and you watch some of the stuff that he was able to put together at USC, the motor is high and there's some explosiveness to him. And that's why you would see a situation like that guy getting added to the equation just in case. Because if D'Amico Ryans could grab a guy like that and fine-tune him into being a depth player that can be called upon should injuries pop up for this team, then you could see how there's a path for Solomon Byrd to hang around this organization and make the team as a 7th-round pick. Unfortunately for Byrd, you look at the defensive end spot, it's going to be tough for the big fella to make it. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, and Danico Autry are for sure on this team. Ali Gay's been around the team for a year, and obviously we remember what Derek Barnett did towards the back end of the season. And then if Dylan Horton is healthy after his bout fighting with cancer last year, he's got a shot to be on this team and absolutely be a factor. So when you think about a guy like Byrd, you think about him like in typical 7th-rounder fashion. Show up to rookie minicamp, impress. Show up to training camp, impress in your opportunities. There's an additional preseason game that the Texans are playing in because of the Hall of Fame game. Byrd should get a lot of work there as well. And what you've got to do is just kind of stick around in the back of coaches' minds, because when practice squad comes around or the Texans need something at that defensive end spot because somebody's a little banged up, something like that, you just got to hang around in the minds of the coaches if you're Byrd, and his relentless effort and pass rushing prowess should give him the opportunity to just stick around in the back of D'Amico Ryans' brain, defensive coordinator Matt Burke's brain, as the Texans think about their defensive end setup and situation. So Byrd with an outside shot, but he's got to continue to showcase that motor, impress with the pass rush, and get a little bit better stopping the run, and maybe he's hanging around with this Texans team post-training camp. The other 7th-rounder on the defensive line, a senior bowler, and was thought to be maybe a 5th or 6th-rounder in a lot of draft prognosticators' minds, that's Auburn defensive tackle Marcus Harris. Harris is a really fun prospect. He had 7 sacks last season for the Tigers, led the Auburn team in sacks with 7. He's a little bit lighter than you probably would think about for a defensive tackle. I know he weighed in about 300 pounds at his pro day, but most people believe he's going to play and be at 285 for most of his NFL career. Lightning quick off of the step for Harris. He can go out there, dart through offensive lines, and go in and make a play. His size does present a little bit of a question mark when you start thinking about some of the bigger and more physical interior offensive lines. But for him, defensive tackle, a position the Texans didn't address early on in the draft, same thing as Byrd. Go out there, make a difference in rookie minicamp, make a difference in training camp, and just hang around the equation. I don't know that it's out of the question that Harris, if he showcases something, could be in the defensive tackle situation. You obviously got Khalil Davis and Kurt Hinish, who played for this team last year. Foley Fatukasi, there we go, we'll get it one of these days. He came over from Jacksonville. I would think he's got an inside track to start. Tim Settle is a player they brought over in free agency from Buffalo. Mario Edwards is another player that was added in free agency. But look at this. I mean, it's Khalil Davis, it's Kurt Hinish, it's Foley, it's Settle, it's Edwards, and then you're looking at Harris, undrafted free agent, Phildarius Payne. But Harris, I mean, all he's got to do is beat out a couple of guys to get into the defensive tackle conversation and rotation. And it wasn't that many years ago that Kurt Hinish turned himself into a rostered player because he started as an undrafted free agent, performed well, and found himself on the roster. Again, wasn't that long ago that he did that. Maybe Harris has an opportunity there. I tell you what, pass rushing from the defensive tackle spot, you're never going to be upset about that from a defensive tackle prospect, and certainly from a seventh rounder. Finally, we go to the big fella on the offensive line, Ladarius Henderson, guard out of Michigan. Now, I know he played tackle for the Wolverines last year, but he primarily played guard. Nick Caserio said that he's going to play guard here at the next level with maybe a little tackle versatility. And so when you start thinking about how does he make an impact at the guard position for the Texans, well, he's got to showcase some of that nastiness that he had in his 5 years playing at college football. He's a longer-armed guard, which is something that is trending towards things that teams really want from their offensive linemen and their interior offensive linemen. He's got a tough battle because there's a lot of options at guard. But again, same conversation. Stick around. Versatility doesn't hurt you. Got to get the extra preseason game. But let's take a look at that offensive line situation. We know Laramie Tunsil, Titus Howard, Shaq Mason, and Juice Scruggs are on this team for sure. You got to imagine Jarrett Patterson's got a good inside track as well. But let's figure out the competition for Ladarius Henderson on the interior. Well, Dieter Iceland has been around this team for over a year now, and he'll be going into his second season with the Texans. That's a guy that Henderson's got to beat out. Nick Broker was on the team all of last year when it came to the guard spot. He didn't play hardly at all. I don't think he actually got into a game, if I remember correctly, but Broker's been in the building. They actually added him after cutdowns last year. He's a former seventh rounder, just like Ladarius Henderson. Obviously, we know about the Green duo Kenyon Green and Kendrick Green. And then Juice Scruggs and Jarrett Patterson are both competition at the guard spot as well. So as you see with Henderson, not super easy, but the versatility that he possesses, being able to play tackle in an emergency, playing inside as well, that's something that's a type of guy that can hang around the organization. Maybe he's a practice squad guy. You call upon him when you need him. Or, hey, perform well in training camp and beat out some of those guys that have been around this team. You know, you're a draft pick. I know it's only a seventh rounder, but you're a draft pick. Some of these guys were added as low-cost, no-cost free agents, or they've been hanging around because they were a waiver claim or something like that. Just because the guy's been in the building doesn't mean that you can't go out there and take his spot if you're Ladarius Henderson. Ultimately, the player that I like the most in these 3 seventh-rounders is Marcus Harris. I see him having a solid opportunity to make noise and then find himself in the conversation when it comes to defensive tackles. I feel like Bird and Henderson have quite the uphill battle. But again, stick around, perform well. Maybe you're a practice squad guy for a year, and then you get a shot next training camp. That's why the team saw something in them. That's why they used a draft pick on them. So stick around and find yourself with an opportunity to make the roster. I like Harris, though. The more I read about him, the more I think about him, the more I look at that defensive tackle room. He's different than some of the other bodies they've got in that defensive tackle room. I think Harris is the guy. If I had to tell you one of these seventh rounders that could make the roster, I'll go with Harris. What do you think about the seventh rounders? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, you can throw me a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out in the description everything you need to know about our friends at Platinum AC and Heating. Call Dwyane today for any of your AC needs. 832-777-3683, 832-777-3683. Put it in your phone. When you need an AC guy, you need an AC guy. So it's better to have that guy ready to go in your phone when you need a massive repair on your AC, when you need a brand new air conditioner. Look, I got it right there on my phone. The AC guy, Dwyane from Platinum AC and Heating. He's just like you and me. He's local. He loves the Texans. Have him out. Check on your air conditioner. Get it ready for summer because we know starting basically now it's going to be running nonstop. So have it in good working order. Talk a little ball with Dwyane. And remember, best prices and best service in town. 5-star rated on Yelp, Google, and 5-star rated by the Better Business Bureau. It's Platinum AC and Heating as the sponsor of this video. We appreciate Dwyane. Put him in your phone as the AC guy because when you need an AC guy, you need the AC guy. Call Dwyane today, 832-777-3683. Even if it's the weekend, Dwyane's going to take care of you. That's right. Some guys shut it down. 5 o'clock Friday, you can't hear from him until 9 o'clock on Monday. Not Dwyane. Your AC goes out Friday night. He's there Saturday taking care of you. Don't miss out on the great service from Platinum AC and Heating. Don't miss out on anything from this channel. That's why you got to be subscribed. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. And I can't wait until we talk Texans again soon.